Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings, and this is a Zollin's Opinion playlist today, my friends. We're going to do a breakdown and review of the new Rings of Power teaser trailer for the Season 2. Alright, so let me just get out right in the open real quick before we all go crazy. I have always tried to come when I review these things at a very neutral perspective and only what I think in the moment, okay? I have my views on my likes and dislikes, right? I feel like when it comes to my series, if you watch my review series, which is, I covered every single episode and trailer when the Season 1 came out, and I feel like I was very fair. I tried to be extremely fair on things, good and bad. I have friends who absolutely despise this show, and friends that absolutely love this show, in person that I know and online. So I just want to point out, I have many people saying lots of things. Again, when I cover this, I'm covering this because I am a Tolkien channel, and I want to just cover it and view it for you guys, okay? Because I feel like whether you want to watch it yourself, which I do think it's good for you to watch it yourself, don't just hear my opinion, but you might be someone who just wants to hear what Zollin Ironshield thinks, Voice of the Rings thinks, and you'll decide if you want to watch it from that, right? I understand, you could do either, right? I do recommend, I'm the kind of person I'm like, watch it yourself, but some people don't want to waste their time. I get that. That's up to you. So I want to let everyone know, too, that I will be covering the Rings of Power, of course, Season 2, but it will not take away from my normal content, okay? I'm not going to be doing this instead of, all right? It'll just be more content. I'll just drop it on there when I review stuff. In fact, I already have a bunch of videos I made I have 6-7 videos lined up right now in my library on my YouTube for you guys, and I'm also making this one, okay? So just so you guys know, I will keep that up. Because I know some people, they really want me to cover it. Some people don't want me to cover it. That kind of stuff. And also, if you're in the comments, be respectful to each other. Have fun debating, saying whatever you want. And, you know, that's fine. But just be nice to each other, okay? Remember, guys, whether someone likes it or dislikes it, we can all still be friends. We can agree to disagree, right? So anyway, but before I just, I don't want to... I already watched it. We're going to watch it a little bit, I think, right now at the beginning. We'll go ahead and watch it real quick as well. But it seems pretty fun. Now, here's one thing. I'm going to look at right here at the thumbnail. This is Annatar, right? This, but at the same time, it's like, wait, isn't that Halbrand? Yes. Okay, so here's something right off the bat. Let's get straight into it. And again, I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield. If you do like this and you want to hear, I do a lot of other Lord of the Rings content. I do replica reviews, lore videos, voiceovers in Lord of the Rings online MMO, Return to Moria, Rise to War. I do a lot of other things on this channel as well. I do gaming, voiceovers, Lord of the Rings, everything, lore, blog. I got lots of stuff. So this is my review playlist, just so everyone knows. So like and subscribe if you would to support the channel. But basically, the first thing I've noticed right off the bat, okay, this is my review and breakdown, is so this is Annatar. I'm assuming he's in Eregion, right, where they make the Rings of Power. I already feel like they're trying to backpedal from just this thumbnail, okay? And you might go, oh, you know, laugh at them. I think it's a good thing. I think that they're trying... This is me being really... Okay, so this might totally get blown out of the window, okay? Take everything I say, including myself. I'm going to take myself with a grain of salt as well, because this could all just be completely wrong. Because this is just a teaser trailer. I know nothing about the season yet, right? Because it comes out in August or something. So the first thing I notice, again, so it's Annatar. Here's what I immediately worry about. Okay, it's Annatar. How would they not know that's Halbrand from Season 1? Right? So in the original books, we know Annatar is the one that deceives the elves, goes in and teaches them about things, teaches them how to make the Rings of Power, which is why it was weird that Halbrand tells Celebrimbor how to make Rings of Power by mixing alloys. Wouldn't he know that as a master smith for thousands of years? Anyway, sorry. Not gonna, I will do my best to make this fun and more on a positive side of review. I will make little jokes and giggles sometimes because, sorry, I have to, like things like that, like why? But I will do my best not to rant. So I think I'm pretty balanced on these reviews. So anyway, Annatar, he looks good. I mean, that's pretty close to Annatar. Now he looks more like a human to me, right? A little bit, but his hair, I like that he has long hair. That's a huge one right there. We're already seeing elves with long hair again. Are we going to see more elves in this with long hair? Because I know a lot of people didn't like that. Are we going to see more epic beards on dwarves? No, the beards were fine, though, on the first one. They were great. So that is interesting to me. How would the elves not realize this is Halbrand when he looks so similar? I would have thought maybe they use a different actor. But here's the thing. I liked that actor. I liked Halbrand. In fact, I was kind of bummed when I found out he was Sauron. Because I was like, oh, I would have liked him to be the Witch King. That was my original, if you watched my original reviews, that's what I would have liked. So, but that's okay. Now let's go ahead and watch through this, and then I'm going to break it down. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch it once, and then I'll break it down.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Prepare yourselves.
The worm is his way inside your mind. The crest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
No duh. Sorry. Okay, so August 29th. That Numenor looks... That's Numenor again. It looks so good.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril.
Oh, sweet. To see an eagle. Why would they be in Numenor?
He is Sauron.
All right, I gotta put it out again. So wait a second. They don't realize he's Sauron, even though I know he's a shapeshifter, so I guess they could play it off with its magic. Like his magic is blinding them that Annatar, now that looks like an elf, is actually Halbrand, which is Sauron in their lore, because Halbrand's not a made-up character, right? In a made-up persona of Sauron, I should say, in the Rings of Power. So I guess it could be kind of like that one part in the Second Age where she's singing the song to Mordorith, or to God, not Mordorith, that's a different person. Morgoth, and she's like keeping them invisible, right, to him with the song and magic. Maybe that's how they get away with saying that. I don't know how they would just suddenly know. Otherwise, they got to have some lore point for that. Otherwise, it makes it very confusing. So first, we see Halbrand will be left off in Season 1. There's Mount Doom. Okay, here's something that I do not think is at all bad in the Lord of the Rings of Power series on Amazon. The visuals of the locations. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. Okay, I never had any problems with that. My problems are with lore points and with other things. Okay, so it looks great. All right, so sweet, awesome. And then we get a flash to, okay, whatever, Prime. We get Halbrand again. Again, this actor's really good. I like this actor. I think he's a good actor. I just think that it's a weird choice of making him Halbrand, finding him on a boat in the ocean in Season 1, and now now he comes back as Annatar, and now he's going to teach Celebrimbor again. We were talking about that a couple of people. I'm like, what is a plot twist? Celebrimbor has short-term memory loss. He has to be taught how to make the rings again. I don't know. I just, that seems a little funny to me. Again, I'm going to try to be positive, and I would also give my negative points on what I think about the teaser trailer here. What is this abomination? This looks like the freaking guy from Star Wars. You know, the guy in the armor that it's like all the muscle monsters, or he's like one of those creatures from Halo. It's like all the like worms, all like that, like his body. There's one in Star Wars and there's one in Halo. This is fantasy. I'm not gonna explain it. You guys should know what I'm talking about if you've watched the series. That is gross. Now again, I'm not against horrors in things and going a little bit scarier than like even Peter Jackson did. Peter Jackson cut out the Barrow Downs in the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Book and Tom Bombadil and all that. I think that was good because I think it would have been really dark, because that is one of the scariest freaking spots in the Fellowship book. Okay, it is horrifying. There are zombies, ghosts, skeletons, phantoms, every evil, like demonic, dead creature that you can think of in fantasy, pretty much in the Barrow Downs. Okay, which might be where that's from. And when she says right here, be ready yourself. These look very much with these you see these glowing eyes back there and this thing. and the mist effect, which looks awesome. Hopefully it'll be clearer, obviously, with higher definition in the actual movie than this trailer. I have a feeling that these are Barrow-wights, which are very scary. And also, I like how all these elves look. I'm glad to see that Elrond is here, and he's actually getting some action compared to Season 1. I like Elrond as an actor. I like the Elrond in Season 1. I felt like they kind of belittled him too much. He is like the right-hand guy of Gil-galad in the original, in this time frame, in the original lore. So to make him like he wasn't able to come to the meeting and stuff, that really bothered me. Because I'm like, hold on, he's the right-hand guy of... He's not the right-hand guy of the king? You know, like, that was weird to me. Maybe they're going to make him the right-hand guy over time. I don't know. But at the time of this story, he should be already. So where this is located, in where they put it, dropped it in the lore. Again, it's really hard because they condensed some time frames too, and they like moved them all around. Again, it's almost impossible to compare it to canon because it's just been so changed, and some actually contradict. So that's why I like to say more. A lot of it is I'll try to drop in where something might be canon, where something might be legends, and where something might be fan fiction. Okay, looks really, really awesome. This whole part looks freaking cool. So this looks really cool to me, like really cool. And they're like, you can see all their shadows in the fog. So that's cool. Okay, that actually is like, okay, that's kind of cool. This definitely looks more exciting. Now, what the heck is happening here? Why do we got little scary moths going on? Are these the... Why does this like remind me of like some Egyptian pharaoh evil, you know, the plague? Maybe that's what they're trying to go for, the feeling. You know, locusts or something attack. This might have something to do with maybe the east. You know how the Wanderer is going to the east? Which, by the way, little side note, I'd really, really like it if that was Gandalf. I'm pretty sure Matt over on Nerd of the Rings, my friend, me and him are in the same boat. We both... did I say like it? No, not be Gandalf. I meant not be Gandalf. We both don't want it to be Gandalf, okay? We want the Wanderer to be like one of the wizards. Maybe I think I would like him even Saruman could be interesting. I would think the Blue Wizards would make the most sense because they go to the east. Gandalf never goes to the east. We know that. So if he goes to the east and if he's Gandalf, you can just immediately know that's completely contradictory to the main canon lore. All right? Just throwing that out there. So if you're a watcher later, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's not like destroys the entire story, but that's weird because we know Gandalf never goes over there. To an extent, I mean, I guess there's somewhere you could fidget it in, but pretty much the Blue Wizards are the ones in the east. I think this is probably where this is, more in the Easterlings area, or her, you know, Rune, because that's where he was headed, right, with the one Hobbit girl. Interestingly enough, there's no hobbits in this. That's interesting. We then have this, like, tree root coming in. I don't know if it's, like, evil tree roots. I have no idea. There's hands right here. Not sure what's going on right there. Is that Celebrimbor or something? Also, I like the Celebrimbor actor. I do agree with some people that Celebrimbor being old like that is kind of weird. But I don't know. He's a good actor. I still like him. I just kind of wish they wouldn't have had him seem like he didn't know about alloys. That was weird. We got some orcs running through a forest. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you about that. It's orcs running through a forest. Yay, they're attacking something. Celebrimbor sees something in the forge light or something? I don't know. Again, this actor seems like a lovable character. He does seem a little bit, I don't know. There's a Celebrimbor in the Shadows of Mordor, which is also not super great to following lore. It's more like fan fiction, right? Maybe some legends in there. But the Celebrimbor in there is a lot more stern and a lot more decisive and stuff. It doesn't seem quite as kind. I mind a little bit of change of personality change. Like, you know, I've already talked about this in season 1, but I hopefully Galadriel is a little bit more respectful and a little bit more of a leader and like graceful, I should say. She can still be a warrior type, but like more she's not just jumping the gun all the time like she was in the first one, because that felt weird to me, because that really wasn't what you read about how she is at all in the books, or how she was in Peter Jackson's, which were following the books. And really, she's not that much older than the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings. I know some people are like, oh, but, you know, she's way older than that. No, not really. It's like being from 65 years old to 70 years old. You're still pretty old either way. You know? So, anyway, comparatively with time frames, if you're following the lore. So there's the fire cloud. Okay. I have no idea what is this? Is this Annatar showing something how to make the rings? Is it just like a vision? Oh, is that, is it a hint at Sauron? Is this Annatar right here? And this cloud right here is like the Eye of Sauron? Oh, I just saw that. This is why it's good to freeze the trailers. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. But like, he'll just be coming like, hello, I'm here to help. I'm Annatar. You know, maybe this is where he meets him, or he finds out he's Sauron. Who knows? I guess that's what I'm going to throw out with this part. That kind of interesting. All right, moving on here. Let's finish this up here. So then we see what we saw in the front here. He's walking through. People look like they're running behind him. I wonder if he did something to start destroying the city or something. Again, I love it that he's got long hair. I don't know how people wouldn't know he was, since they added him into the lore here of the show, the fan fiction legends version of Halbrand. How would they not see that's Halbrand just with long hair? It has to be because of magic. That they should explain that. They gotta explain that. They gotta be like, oh, we didn't see because he had some aura of, deception on him or trickery, or something. They gotta say something, because if they let that slide, us as viewers are gonna be like, why? You know what I mean? Like, how would you not see that's Halbrand with long blonde hair? You know what I'm saying? Right? I don't know. You tell me. Again, I'm over here trying to like help them. Like I hope that's how they do it. But we'll see. All right. So that happens. Cool. And then we get a shot of, I believe, Numenor. This island, the island kingdom of Numenor, looks exquisite. That is one thing that I said from season 1. The locations look awesome. Okay. So, Moria looked good. I would like to see more of Moria, personally. Felt like we saw the one big area and then we saw a couple rooms, and that was about it. I would like to see some big expansive areas in Moria. That would be kind of cool. But seeing the island of Numenor and seeing Lindon and seeing Aragian, those were all awesome. Those all places were all really cool. Or Region, some people call it. Just where they made it's kind of weird. I've heard like 4 people say it different ways. So, and then we got another horse riding. Hopefully, not to sound like a troll, but this is a meme. Hopefully no slow motion. As much as slow motion is awesome and really amazing camera they had, that was a little bit scary. Oh no, I'm getting nightmares. No, just kidding. And also, I don't like to go get on this actress because, she's probably doing her best with the stuff they're giving her. I don't want to attack the writers either, but I'm like, guys, can you stick to the lore better, please? I do feel like they really took what they had, and I'm just going to say this, and I hope this isn't too controversial, but they took the lore that they had, and they really kind of went against even the lore they had rights to. Because a lot of people will, say, oh, well, they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion, so they're using all the appendices. Well, yeah, a lot of the appendices stuff, they actually, contradict it. So they really did their own they took names and locations and did their own story, with the generic bulk of the story being, these races, he makes rings of power. Right? They got rid of a lot of the main points here and there. But anyway, still, I'm gonna hold my total judgment until I watch the season 2, personally. And then you guys can either watch it yourself or you can watch my reviews and you decide if you want to spend the time. That's up to you. We see a lady underwater. Wait, is that the princess lady? Okay, so we got to talk about this for a second. That thing looks insane. Is that the thing that attacked the boat in season 1? It looks like some kind of crazy kraken fish monster. Wow. Now here's the thing. Some people are probably going to immediately be like, oh, this is so dumb. Why did they put this? I'm sorry, guys. I love it. I see. I tell you you get straight Zollin Ironshield on these Zollin opinions. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I dislike. This is awesome. Okay, I don't even care. This is freaking cool. There's no there's things mentioned in the lore that there's stuff in the ocean, but why wouldn't there be something like this in Middle Earth's ocean, right? So as a legends or a fan fiction thing, I don't see why this could be put in there, and this does not contradict anything of Tolkien's lore that I can think of in any of my knowledge of any of the other books, even if they didn't have the right Silmarillions. I don't think there's anything that this could be possible in the ocean, right? That's freaking so cool looking, though. Look at this.
Every
Scary. Now, this character, Disa, or not Disa. Her name's not Disa. What's her name again? Oh, gosh, I forgot. Yeah. See, I remembered Halbrand's name because it was a pretty cool name, and a couple of the other ones, but I kind of forgot her name. So one thing I'm worried about a little bit with this character is, let's not even get into the thing where dwarves having beards right now, okay? You guys all know that. I kind of feel that they should have beards, but it's not the end of the world for me either. She has a little bit of tough along the edge here. I liked her at the beginning of season 1. I didn't really start liking her character when she started saying certain things to Doran later and kind of like turning him against his dad, sort of. She kind of did. I didn't really like that. That's where I kind of didn't like the character as much as a made-up character. She's a made-up character. I will just point out that I said this in season 1. They still really should have pointed out the fact that she was married in from one of the other 7 dwarven clans. That would have made so much more sense. And can I just pull this in real quick? On someone who did that lore correctly is the Return to Moria game. The Return to Moria game put Gimli invited all 7 of the dwarven clans to come retake Khazad-dûm in the Return to Moria game. So it makes sense that there would be every different kind of looking dwarf, right? Of every different background, because they weren't just the Durin's clan. Okay, so the Durin's clan are all the ones you hear about in the Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King, and the Hobbit books, and they're the majority of the main characters. All of Thorin's company, they all have kind of similar, generic, very Norse-looking, Scottish looks, right? They don't necessarily have Scottish accents, right? Tolkien doesn't really describe that. I feel like they would, but some people don't. That's fine. That's a totally, like, reasonable, change. But I think with that, when it comes to that, Return to Moria did a good job with the fact that in character creation, you can make your character look however you want. Well, it's because you could be from any of the Dwarven clans. Lord of the Rings Online, the MMO did that really good. That's still out, that I cover on the channel. The Zelruka clan, they look a lot more like she does here, okay? With her look and her hair and how everything, right? I'm not even going to go into it because you all know what I'm saying, and it gets so silly because people get so extreme about that. And by the way, I have friends of every background and creed and race in real life, and most of them agree with me on this subject because I've talked to them. But not that I need that. I can have my own opinion, and I don't have, everyone can have their own opinion on everything, guys. Freedom of speech. But again, I'm someone who likes all of that, and I think it's good that they put, all these fun little changes in there, but I think that would have made more sense. They should have just done that. I don't know why they didn't do that. That would have solved any lore discrepancy, right? Because she doesn't look like one of the Durins, right? Well, she's married in from the Baru clan or whatever, from the east or from the south. Problem solved. Okay? I know I've talked about that in the past, and I really don't want to get into that too deeply because people get just too crazy about that. People can't have normal conversations about that, right? And by the way, if it was the other way around with certain way people looked, I would argue the same point. Okay? Just throwing that out there.
Middle Earth.
And then we see this is the dad, right? I don't know why he's looking up a light shaft, but it looks awesome. It's a really cool shot. It's pretty cool. And then we have this bridge falls in. That's pretty awesome. Yes, definitely very cool. I don't know, why are they being attacked? Are these the dwarves? This looks like the same spot we were shown in the thing before. I'm not quite sure why their bridge is getting crushed like that. Guess we'll find out. Maybe they're attacked? Oh, you know what it is? I bet you they're being attacked by... I bet Sauron brings in an army to attack a region, and then that's when the dwarves come out to help, don't they? And then maybe they attack sort of the dwarves too a little bit. I don't know how they would have got in Moria, because in the original lore, they don't get in Moria, though. But I do know they help to an extent during that. They help some of them. Not everybody, because it's still kind of far away, far distance. Hopefully, in the Rings of Power this time, they do a little bit better job of letting you feel the distance between these locations. Because do you guys remember in season 1, it really it bounced all the time. It bounced, right? And that's weird, right? And by the way, the only reason I say that about the whole dwarf things and clans and different people's looks and stuff is not because of some weird thing that I don't like and you don't assume things, right? It's because I like it to follow Tolkien's lore on how he describes how the Durin's clan looks, right? And you wouldn't just have mixes of looks if he says they look a certain way. But he doesn't say what the other 6 clans look like of dwarves, and we know there's 6 clans of dwarves. the 7 fathers of the dwarves. Doran the Deathless was the father of the Doran's clan that mostly stayed in Middle-earth, but there's some that went to the south, some went to the east, some went over to the north, right? I mean, the other way, earlier on. So there's all these clans that they can pull from. That's what a lot of the game's been doing. It's genius. It works perfectly. So then we get, this looks like Elendil getting pulled by a crowd. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure. And then we see, I don't even know what's happening here. And what's this scream sound? Like, why does she sound like a banshee? What is happening? This is I'm so confused at this whole scenario. Is she like in a mind battle with Sauron or something? Is she being pulled in by one of the wraiths or something? Like, why? I don't know what's going on. It just seems like it's there to be loud and suspenseful for the trailer. We'll see. And then we see a really creepy looking orc that looks pretty good, mind you. Licking a blade. He looks pretty cool. He definitely, I don't think he's CGI. He's a real guy in a suit, it looks like, right? Or it's just really well done CGI. He looks awesome. Great goblin or orc or whatever he's supposed to be. I would assume an orc from his size, but whatever. Darkness will bind them. Okay, so this is kind of cool. This looks like Numenor again, and it looks a lot like how one of John Howe's drawings from the book that's on the book, right? So that's cool, and I like the darkness will bind them. So maybe this is where, you know, he starts using the ring of power to start binding all the other rings, and then the elves realize and take off their rings. But then are they saved from the whole like elf diminishing thing? I'm really want to see what they do with changing things up in season 2. And again, personally, I'm rooting for them. I would really like it to be a successful change, right? I would be really, really happy if it was. I don't know how they get to like a better spot than where they left it, because there was so much. It was like, I don't know how that's gonna even work. But that looks really cool. And then we have, there's the Elven Rings. They are obviously different than the ones in Peter Jackson's. They look fine. They look cool. Maybe it's just maybe I just have the preference because I've seen them, but I like Peter Jackson's a little better. The way they made them look, but they're still really cool. So Galadriel's got one, King Gil-galad right here, and then I'm assuming Celeborn, right? Oh wait, wait, hold on. No, does Celebrimbor have one originally, or is it Círdan the Shipwright? Because I know he had one of the Rings of Power, because he gives it to Gandalf. And it's the red one. Or are we going to see Círdan the Shipwright? That would be cool. Alright. The only elf that should have a beard. He's the only elf in the history of elves that Tolkien tells us has an actual white beard. So, and why is that? I don't know, he's really old. But, because technically elves aren't really immortal. They just live very, very long. Meaning, like, they don't really age. But Tolkien never really said directly they were immortal, which is an issue. They basically are immortal, though. This is why everyone says it. So it looks like the tree gets its leaves. Wait, does it lose its leaves? I don't know. And then I'm assuming this is one of the dwarf rings of power, which actually looks very gloriously pretty. Very cool. Maybe this is showing when the greed starts, because it does help protect dwarves and make them stronger, but it also causes them to be a little more greedy. The rings of power always enhance some natural abilities from kind of what the original lore says. So maybe that's what they're following, so that would be good. And since dwarves are very good at mining, you know, and being stubborn against evil, it kind of does enhance against that, but it also makes them more greedy, things like that. We see a guy fall again. And then, oh man, it's our favorite elf doing acrobatics. I actually don't mind this character. I actually find him entertaining. I still think he's a pretty decent actor. I just think his role that they wrote into the show seems kind of just put there. But maybe in season 2 they'll pull him in to make him more of a character than why he's there. Right? It's kind of fun to have a side character sometimes, but I'll just leave that up in the air. But I think he's a cool actor. Again, I talked about this as well in the past, but I'm not going to go into it. It's similar to what I was talking about with the dwarves. And again, this is no slight at anything. And I also would normally not mind when it comes to like acting in like a play or something. I feel like anyone should be able to play the part because you're playing a play and you're acting the character. But if you're trying to make a movie that follows Tolkien's lore and how he describes what certain groups of people look like and things like that, I feel like you probably should stick to that to honor Tolkien. But at the same time, a little diversion because it's cool or whatever, you know, have more people in it, of more backgrounds with different actors, that's fine, right? So it's a little bit of a hard subject because people are way too touchy on it in these day and age, and they always think if you say something like that, you're like, you're being something. You all know what I'm saying, and I'm not, because I'm glad he's in the show. He's actually I actually enjoy his acting a lot. All right, so moving on. So we see Numenor again. Beautiful. Numenor looks fantastic. We see an eagle land. All right, so does that eagle land with, remember, this is Alfarazon. Was he wasn't riding the eagle, right? Why would there be an eagle here? So the eagles are of Manwë, right? They created them. I don't know why an eagle would be on Numenor. Yeah, it's cool, but why is it there? I can't think of any reason from the lore why the eagles would be in Numenor. I mean, and Alfarazon, I hope that his character grows because I liked him in season 1, even though he had very few spots. And then here's the kid. He's definitely grown up a little bit since the previous seasons. He's like a year too older. And then here is Isildur, right? Which, by the way, his acting's been pretty good. I hope he gets more this time around. I'm assuming these are the orcs. So maybe those orcs marching through the forest was the army coming to a region. I'm assuming this is a region being attacked by the orcs. It does look pretty awesome. Like, I mean, look at that. And then that is the one guy, again, who looks a lot more like an orc now, interestingly enough. I like how they made him look more like an orc than a human. It's the guy that's been kind of corrupted, and he's like helping lead orcs. So maybe he ends up being like a right-hand guy of Sauron, which is what I originally thought from the beginning. When some people thought he was Sauron, I thought that in season 1. So maybe that's what they're using there. These orcs look terrifyingly gross. I love it. That's good. And then we have the Wanderer, who is super interesting, and I actually think he's really, really cool as a character. So he's obviously in deserts, so he must have gone to Rhûn, like near Rhûn. He must have gone towards, so he's probably north of Mordor, right? I don't know why he slams the ground, and then is someone holding on from him? Or is this explosion from something else? He really likes his ground smack explosions. I don't know, is that a reference if they're trying to say Gandalf? Because, you know, Gandalf says, you shall not pass. Is that kind of what they're doing here? I don't know. I still think it'd be really cool if he was a blue wizard. I really think. Or, you know, Radagast the Brown. But that would be kind of... I feel like Radagast the Brown would be a bad choice. I think one of the blue wizards would be awesome. And the other thing he's forgetting is another blue wizard. That would be cool. All right, so we see some battle sequences. I don't know who this is hanging on. This is some random shot. I don't know if that's from the Wanderer doing that. Maybe it is. Is this... Oh, you know what? This is the Hobbit. This is the girl. Look at her feet. Hobbit. She's hanging on for dear life. Does she die because they're getting rid of the hobbits because they know people didn't want those in their... Except, here's the thing. Personally, I enjoyed the hobbits. I thought they were like the sweet part, except I think they were horrible how they left their people behind. That was not like hobbits. You're like, oh, you broke an ankle? You're left in the dust? You're going to die and be eaten by wargs. Like, that was a little dark for me in season 1. But they were a nice... You know, they used them as comic relief, kind of. But I thought it was sweet, especially like the song they sung when they were traveling with the Wanderer. That was cool. I like that song. So those were fine. That is definitely a hobbit, though. So interesting. And then we get some shots of Galadriel with a bow this time. Cool. I'm glad she can use a bow as well and do fire shots. Classic movie fire. Unfortunately, this is not very realistic with fire arrows, but that's okay. It looks cool. So one thing that I will say too that I really hope she uses some magic in season 2. Please use some magic, Galadriel. I want to see Galadriel use magic. We all know that she brings down Dol Guldur in the books with her magic, so she can use magic better than most. And then there is that helmet looks awesome, by the way. first cool looking set of. I wasn't really a fan of a whole lot of the armor sets in the season 1. Some of them were good, but some of them are eh. That helmet looks awesome. I'll buy that replica if they ever make it. We see attack a group of horses charging. This is a nice size army. It wouldn't be nearly as big as like the Rohan group, right, in the Return of the King, but that's cool to see him leading. Are these Numenorian horses or Elven horses? I mean, he tells us Elven gear on, so I'm assuming they're Elven, but that looks like a seal door, so maybe they all just have similar armor. Maybe. And then we've got Celebrimbor looking very upset and distraught and melting a bunch of rings. Maybe melting them because he realized Sauron is, corrupting people? I don't know. Maybe. And then you see that does look like Annatar, I will say. They did a pretty good job with his makeup. So I guess he does look different to an extent than Halbrand, but I still think maybe just magic too is kind of their cover up for that. And there's Celebrimbor not looking so good. This is where they figure out he's Sauron. And I will say this spot looks really cool, and I love his little smirk. That little smirk, very good acting. And I do like how they show him just go with his hands, and then like he probably blows him away or something. And then for some reason we pop to this like kingdom where it like blows ice all over, which I mean that is a thing by the Witch King did in the north. So maybe his power just reignites in darkness and it freezes everything over. Maybe that's what they're going for. I mean, that looks awesome. Doesn't that look cool? I mean, it looks awesome. So, I don't know. I heard one of my friends saying, let it go, and like making jokes. And I'm like, oh, it's like, it is, it does look kind of like that. But anyway, it's kind of cool. So anyway, there it is, my friends. And it's supposed to be August 29th. So that's kind of my review. It went a little longer than I was expecting to make that, but hopefully that you enjoyed. Thank you to my Patreons for their support. Subscribe button's there. Next episode's over there for my opinion playlist. And if you want to do a little less of the talking about this kind of stuff, you can always go watch my voiceover series in Lord of the Rings Online, where we play wonderful Lord of the Rings content. All right, my friends, have a great and wonderful day at Middle-earth. Thank you for watching my review and breakdown if you enjoyed it, of the new official teaser trailer from Rings of Power, Season 2. There is some promising things there. It definitely looks like they're trying to switch some stuff up from Season 1. We'll see how it goes. Does look like there's a little bit of the Hobbit girl still in there. Some people said they didn't see hobbits. I think that hanging on person was a hobbit. Anyway, stay happy, my friends. I'll see you. And again, I will be covering Rings of Power Season 2 if you want to subscribe for that. But I also will be doing other stuff still. I will not be covering up my usual regular Lord of the Rings content for it. I will just be adding stuff on when I cover Rings of Power 2. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Baruch Hazard, Kul Zod Emenu. Stay happy, my friends. See ya.